This week, on the Spotlight segment, we feature the Managing Director of Yikodeen Nigeria Limited, Olayinka Shamsuddin Atunde. Take a look.
At Yikodeen, we manufacture locally made safety boots, coveralls, and different types of PPEs. And we also support some other environmental safety solutions. So that's what we do. But the core of what we do is to ensure that most of these things is added value locally. We ensure we produce the shoes, the other accoutrements and other items we use locally also. We started from making military shoes, and we evolved into making safety boots. We evolved into making other personal protective equipment for the oil and gas sector. We've expanded into the manufacturing sector and also the construction sector. So it's been a very good growth. And last year, we expanded into a bigger facility that produces about 2,500 pairs of shoes daily and also produces over 1,000 coveralls daily also. We started 10 years ago with making 20 pairs of shoes. So now we're doing about 2,500. That's about 100 times more than what we were doing 10 years ago when we started. So we've grown capacity not just in terms of the volume of productions we make, but in terms of the quality to compete with global standards. Our products now meet all ISO standards and all American standards, and we compete with any products that you can think of right now in the market, whether foreign or most imported products, because most products in the market are imported. So we can compete favorably with those products. So when you look at our company, when you look at what we stand for a company that makes items and products to international standards. The whole idea of expanding was because of the Local Content Act. We started from making military footwear. The military footwear we started making actually was because of the 2017 executive order that was signed by President Muhammadu Buhari at that time. But apart from that, why we expanded into the oil and gas was because of the NOGIC Act. We saw that there was an opportunity, and we saw that there was a monitoring body, particularly to ensure and focus on the fact that local content was being promoted. So that's why we even expanded in the first place and invested in the first instance. So we had a strong support from NCDMB due to the Act for the 27 project. And that was what has really expanded our growth to where we are today. It was hectic, it was difficult. We had a lot of people doubt us, to be honest. But the last administration of the NCDMB was fantastic. This one also, but there was a lot of push to ensure that our products were bought. In all honesty, there was serious support from NCDMB. When our product was made first, our first safety boot was made in 2019. After the products were made, we had a situation whereby people didn't want to wear our products because it was Nigerian made. We got the product tested for about 3 years. We kept on supplying different companies, different boots. But after the products were tested, there was a push from NCDMB to start a PPE committee, which created a new PPE policy that enforced companies in the oil and gas to buy locally manufactured PPE. I was part of the committee that started that, and we were the drivers of making that happen due to the fact that we needed to have this particular focus. Even when companies didn't want to buy, especially in the 27 project, NCDMB fined a lot of them and forced them and ensured that they bought the product. And that was actually what helped our growth. The demand that came was enormous. We could not meet up to the demand. NCDMB was also there to support us, to say, do you know what, still give them the demand, they're going to expand. And we expanded due to that demand. And now we employ over 500 to 600 people thanks to that particular policy that was signed in 2022. We had a lot of challenges. There's a doubt tax in Nigeria where, as a Nigerian company, people just believe you can't compete with the foreign brands. That was our biggest challenge. We had the normal general challenges of power. That's a very huge challenge because we are manufacturers. But I think the biggest problem was the doubt tax. People didn't believe in what we could do. And also the leadership, because it's a young leadership. People didn't also believe that young leadership can be able to achieve this particular thing that the older guys do. So that was the biggest problem we had. It was just a lot of doubts because we're getting things right, but people, even when we got everything that was supposed to be done, people still didn't believe in what we're doing. I just felt like, why should we use you? We doubt that this will work, even after they've tested. So that doubt was the biggest hurdle, and it's still the biggest hurdle we currently face, but we thank God, I guess. So yeah. We've been very aggressive for the past 2 years. We are expanding aggressive, as you can see. If you looked at our trajectory for the last 2 years or 3 years, you'll see how aggressive we've been moving. We started exporting out of Nigeria. Because, like I said, because of this doubt tax, you have this situation whereby people doubt the product locally. But what we've seen outside the country is that a lot of people worship the product and love the product. So we directed our vision to go outside Nigeria, and we saw that there was huge and better demand out of Nigeria. As a matter of fact, our biggest market is out of Nigeria than in Nigeria right now. But we are still moving at the pace within the country to see how we can continue to expand into other industries. That's also another thing we've done. We've created multiple product lines. We're not just making only safety boots or general PPEs. We also make items for the military, different types of protective equipment for the military also. So that's what the outlook in the next 5 years looks like, for us to aggressively expand our market share and ensure that most products using the oil and gas, because that's our target for the next 5 years, to ensure that every oil and gas and manufacturing company in Nigeria are going to be using locally manufactured personal protective equipment in the next 5 years. But I think the first thing is to be grateful for the support, because without the support, we're not going to be where we are today. And that's just the honest truth. There's been a lot of support from the NCDMB to see how we can grow. But we wanted to be a bit more aggressive from their parts, to see how we can do more, because to be honest, if we are very intentional about the support to our sector, we can create over 10,000 jobs in the next, let's say, 5 years. Not just us, other manufacturers also, can create over 10,000. But what we've seen in the industry is that there's still a huge number of imports. Not because there's no capacity internally, there's a capacity to do it, but it's the way of the companies to patronize due to these doubts that they still have, not because the products can't work, but because of the fact that they don't believe that the products would work at the scale at which the products that are imported would work. So I think the NCDMB just needs to do a bit more, to be more intentional, to ensure that we can achieve, the companies that have invested locally can achieve more.